Hello, my name is Maria and I'm from Magical Sunset, and I'm here, well, we're sharing the screen with Jackie from JMC Travel and Tours, and we're excited to share with you Magical Sunset and our product offering. So thank you, Natalie and Bob, for the opportunity to show you a little bit about Greece and Magical Greece and what we have our sailing mythical tours offering in the beautiful islands of Greece. So these are some of the photos that we've taken while on tour. It is truly, truly magical. And I think most people know Greece and knows, the weather, the beautiful beaches. We take that on and we bring to life all the legends and the heroes that Greece is known for. So welcome to Magical Greece and Magical Sunset, where ancient tales of Greek gods and heroes are relived as you sail the beautiful Greek islands. So that's me and a little bit about me. I was born in Greece, but I left Greece when I was very, very young, and with my parents moved to Melbourne, Australia. I think just at the age of 4, my parents took us back to Greece. We lived there with my grandparents, and it's where I started school. And we call it kindergarten, preschool. So my early years of primary school is I was introduced to Greek mythology, and I loved it. We didn't have toys, and we didn't have, Barbie dolls and elaborate games to play with. It was the mountains and imagination that we had, and those stories remained with me. I eventually moved back to Melbourne, but the stories stayed with me. And as I got older, I introduced them to the kids, and the kids know about it, and I still has been a passion that hasn't gone away. From a professional point of view, I've got a science background, major in physics, sub-major in stats. I've worked many years with Goodyear. I traveled the world. I had the opportunity to live in Luxembourg. And whilst we lived in Luxembourg, we had a whole lot of friends that came with us to Greece nearly every year. So you're going to ask, why Magical Sunset? That's exactly how it started. We first started with the children, taking them to the islands, taking them to different locations in Greece, telling them stories, connecting them to the mythology. And in fact, we would find every time we'd go to a different monument and say, this monument or this location, we discovered the gates of the underworld, or we discovered where Hippocrates founded medicine. We discovered Odysseus's palace. So we created a story that we could follow and made it fun for the kids, because the kids grew up. Then we had adults and other families joining us, and I created stories that were included both the adults and the kids. Before I knew it, it was this elaborate activity. And it was, I think several years ago, a very good friend of mine that said, Maria, you really need to be doing this professionally. So after 25 years of travel, I thought perhaps it's time. So with 6,000 islands to visit in Greece, 15,000 kilometres of beautiful coastline, endless tales and stories, connecting the myths to the locations, I created and founded Magical Sunset. So we have 3 beautifully curated tours: Sailing the Saronic Myth, Odysseus, I'm Coming Home, The Aegean Dream, and of course we also customize tours for families or individuals or groups. We can also create an exclusive product for organizations that want to brand it as their own or have it as their product exclusively. A little bit about these tours. Sailing the Saronic Myth is a romantic tour. It's about god Zeus, and he loves his passion for women, and in this particular case he's madly in love with a beautiful nymph, and how he has to hide her and put her in a secluded island because his wife will turn every woman that he has affairs with into an animal. So I call this the romantic myth because we go to beautiful islands. It's all about the romance. We go, of course, there's always archaeological sites that we visit as well, connecting to the stories, beautiful beach coves and secluded coves that we go and visit, fishing harbours, picturesque fishing harbours, off the beaten track. It's just a very romantic tour, close to Athens. Odysseus, I think everybody knows the story of Odysseus, and it's basically his 10-year journey back home. Of course, we don't do all the islands, and we don't have 10 years to sail the Greek islands, but it's the last part, the last chapter, as he enters back to Greece on the Ionian side, close to his home Ithaca, and how he goes and visits the gates of the underworld. So this monument that supposedly was built, enters Hades' home, is still present today, and many people don't know it. We have a tour guide that goes with you, and it's built on top of 5 rivers, and these 5 rivers each represent the elements of the underworld, which is the river of fire, the river of tears, the river of forgetfulness, river Hades, and of course the river Heron, which is the river of lost souls. And in classical Greece, they believed that they needed to bury the person with a coin because they needed to pay the ferryman who took them along the river of lost souls to get them to the other side, to the underworld. So we visit this monument, we visit where Odysseus goes and to this river because it still exists today, and they experience and they pay homage to Hades as Odysseus did. So it's really a phenomenal experience that you wouldn't otherwise get. We take our guests on this tour to go and visit Ithaca, where Odysseus lived, and he returns after 20 years, and you can feel his longing and his desire to get home and his anxiety. We also experience archery competition because Odysseus is told when he goes to Hades to speak to the ghost that, hey, you better get home quickly because there's all these suitors that wanting to get your wife, so to marry your wife. So Penelope's wife gets them to enter an archery competition. So we have this archery competition. We have a professional archaeologist who facilitates this activity. We have all the attire that's dating back to Odysseus' time. It's available for them to look, to feel, to wear it if they wanted to, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of fun. And of course, there's swimming, diving, beautiful foods that we recommend in each location. And the last tour is the Aegean Dream. So the Aegean Dream is based on King Aegeus, who sends out his son to go and fight the Minotaur. It's a story where they've lost the war with Crete, and in this tour, we go to the most amazing locations on the east coast of Athens, following his trail and knowing how he prepares to fight for the Minotaur. Each tour is, like I said, 7 days. It's a private charter sailing tour. We have luxury catamarans. I will show on a different slide what our catamarans look like, how we select them. We have licensed skippers. The skippers are actually interviewed by us and I'm going to say interviewed and carefully selected, because we don't want skippers that's just going to take you to some popular destinations or that's convenient to a skipper or where he can moor the boat. We have a very comprehensive itinerary. We don't want to leave anything to chance. So we go through the program, we go through the storyline so that they're in sync of what's required. We provide a hostess on board who prepares breakfast and lunch. We provide all the provisionals. Of course, we have a process of asking questions, what food preferences, allergies, or anything else that's maybe required. On our tours, we always incorporate a tasting session, a wine and cheese tasting session. Depending on the ages of the charter group, we will have other little things as well. Like, for example, it's a family with young children. We'll also include some other little things for the young kids. We have interactive games, and it's like these beautiful questionnaire type based games that you earn points and you keep a score and you can challenge one another, that depending on what the activity of the day was, you can participate in that. It's to their discretion how much they want to do and how involved they want to get, but it's available to them. And at the end of it is the winner. We always give a little award, a prize to the winner. For example, Odysseus, we have who is Odysseus, and at the end is you get a prize and you say you are the real Odysseus because you won the game. We have outdoor activities. Of course, we always provide snorkeling equipment, but there's opportunity to do kayaking, have stand-up paddle boats, windsurfing, paragliding. And on the itinerary, we always provide per day, depending on where they go, the locations, what's available to them. Our ground staff is always there to help them say, okay, did you want to go, for example, scuba diving? If so, we just need 24-hour notice. They already have the itinerary. They know what's coming up, and we'll organise it for them. Of course, we moor at the end of the night, or we try to sail during the day. We do a swimming couple of hours. We will anchor in a beautiful bay for lunch. So we always try and have a beautiful setting. So if they want to go for a swim, or the hostess prepares lunch. And then the early afternoon, depending on the activity, is we will try and aim to get into the island and more for the afternoon. So they have that whole evening to enjoy themselves on the land, on the island to go sightseeing. And of course, we give them recommendations of what restaurants, our preferred restaurants that we've had a meal and we know where they should go. And if they want any bookings or assistance, we'll cater for that as well. We also provide pre-travel information. So before they set sail, once they have paid the final payment, which is just 2 payments, the deposit and then the balance, they get a link to a whole lot of information of what's how to prepare, how to pack, documentation. I'll go through that in a separate slide. So before you leave, like I said, you will get travel documents. tour guides. So they'll go when they're on land, and depending on the storyline, is they will have a tour guide that will take them through, walk them, explain the story. We always visit iconic sites. This one, and I should probably go back, is this tour is from Sailing the Saronic Myth. This one is the Aegean Dream, and it is Sunyo, where the Temple of Poseidon, and it's where King Aegean was waiting there for his son's return. Of course, we always have that you're going to be enjoying time on the beach and looking at the islands and swimming. We have your sporting activities, as I mentioned, ample time for sightseeing. You have experiences of the legend and the myths itself, and then you have beautiful, authentic Greek food to enjoy. Choosing the catamaran. So our preferred vessels is catamarans, and that's because they're wider, they're more spacious, they provide our guests with more room. Each catamaran is slightly differently configured, and depending on your size group, it could be, and that could be between 6 people or up to 10. It will be a different size catamaran and different configuration, but these are some of the ones that we've used that's in our fleet. But what we do is once you've booked it and we confirm which yacht is available, our clients will get details, the name of the yacht, what it looks like, the dimensions, so they'll know exactly what they're getting. There's no false images. The yachts can range in size from 39 feet to 50 feet. Some ask for larger yachts, like up to 55. That's okay, that's available, but of course it's a different price point. We always try to select yachts that are built 2020, 2021 and 22. If we get older yachts, we make sure they've been recently refitted. We always provide details, the age of the yacht, so that our clients know exactly what they're going to be getting. Experiencing the myth. This is Spiro, our own archaeologist, and he loves these games. So he works with us exclusively on our tours, and he will facilitate whatever game there is, if it's depending on which tour. On this occasion, this is the Odysseus tour, where they do an archery competition. On the right, this is the attire that we have, that we actually put on display for people to see what people wore during Odysseus's time. Like I said, they can feel it, they can touch it. What we find is people want to wear it, and we encourage that. We encourage them to get into that theme and that experience so that they know what it was like. And there's no pressure. It's just, people say, oh, I've got my kids are, teenagers, would they enjoy this? I said, listen, there's no pressure. And all of a sudden they get so excited when they see it. It's almost impossible not to put the helmet on or not to put, the whole costume on. Okay. I've got here some of the locations that we go to. This happens to be the Aegean Dream. So Greece is known to have a lot of monuments, a lot of locations with amphitheatres. Not all of them are used, that they run public events. We're fortunate in the way we've created the tours and we retell the story. We come to this location, Githnos, and there's ancient amphitheatre, and you can see the old town where we go and visit, and we do the Minotaur is where King Aegeus' son Theseus actually fights and prepares to fight for the Minotaur. And you can imagine wearing the ancient Greek attire in an ancient Greek background overlooking the Aegean Sea. It is absolutely breathtaking. For me, this says a Grecian experience. Oops. Have you lost me?
No. Yeah.
I'm there, but my presentation's gone. Okay, I'm back. So for me, that absolutely epitomizes what a Greek experience would be. Life on the boat. So life on the boat is where you're going to wear a lot of your bikinis or swimwear because you're going to be doing a lot of swimming and sunbaking, as you should, and drinking a glass of wine on deck. But I also have in my packing list is when you go on land, is I personally like to not dress up, but have my summer gear and, those sort of clothes that iron free where you can roll up and just put in a suitcase and then whip it out and still look great. And that would be your 7 days experiencing on the boat. Okay, the booking process. I just wanted to explain this photo on the left is Kioni, and it is where we moor one night, and I think it's day 3 on the Odysseus tour. I think you'll agree it's a beautiful location. The booking process I have on our website, and I made it as simple as possible, is pick your myth. In other words, is which tour do you want to go on? Select your dates, pack your bags, hop on board. So what we do is when an inquiry comes in, we check to see what yachts are available. We provide you details with the yacht availability and details of the yachts. There's a 50% payment deposit required. You then receive a booking confirmation, all the details of your travels, the port you'd be departing from, of course, the dates, and then we start communicating with you to understand your travel preferences, your hobbies, interests, food requirements. After you've seen the itinerary, what exactly is needed, and all the details from the charter group. There is the cancellation policy, which you'll have, which is all recorded in there. And then you also get information that is called Know Before You Go. And I'm just going to show you just a little screenshot of what that looks like. So you will get a link to a page, this very long page, and the page will have, and you can click on the myth in action or before you leave or ready to sail. So when you go, for example, the myth in action, you'll get these 3. So a little video of me telling you about what you're going to experience. Then there is Odysseus, the itinerary. And I should say we try as much as possible to stick to the itinerary, but it's flexible. It's your tour. There's a lot of flexibility. So if you go to a certain location and you want to stay there longer, the skipper is always in direct contact with our ground staff that will say, hey, are we still on track? Are they going to go there? Do they want an extension somewhere else? Do we need to change the route? Do we need to call the port authorities? Because we try to secure the port locations as well. The same thing with, restaurant details or whatever's required. or if there's weather changes. We can't predict that. So we always try and have a backup of a route, a sailing route, without having to compromise on what you're going to see, so that we can cater for all possible conditions. This is, details of the game. Of course, then before you leave, if you pressed on that, you will get your travel documents, food preferences, your complete packing checklist, because I should say, while this is a 7-day sailing tour, and people coming to Greece, especially if they're coming from very long distances that I do from Melbourne, you're not going to come with a duffel bag. You're going to come with several suitcases. So, but you can't take those suitcases on the catamaran. We provide you what you can take on the boat. And if you have additional suitcases, we've got secure storage that we can put that for you. So that's everything explained in that document. And the last one is ready to sail, is how to get to the marina, your contacts, which is the embassies, emergency numbers, police, and that sort of thing. And then there is a greeting from Thanya, our ground staff, who's our director of operations in Greece. So you know who you're going to meet. Here is just some photos from the locations that we go to. The first one, this one is from the Aegean Dream. The top is from the Saronic Myth. And the last one is also the church, is the Aegean Dream as well. And that's it. So I'll open it now to Jackie, because I know she's got some questions that her clients have put forward that she wants to ask, if there's anything that I haven't covered.
Yes. So, hello everyone, I'm Jackie from JMC Travel, and first of all, we're very happy to represent Magical Sunset here in the United States. We're very excited about it. So we've been inquiring with some of our clients already about some questions that they may have. So I'm going to try, maybe some have been covered already. Here we go. So the first question is, besides the captain on board, what other crew or staff?
So the only other staff is the hostess. She gets also very involved because she also has the answers to all the questions of the games, but the hostess and the skipper who's on board. That's the official crew. And of course, we have our ground staff that you can always contact, but yeah, they're not on the boat.
Okay, so when it comes to the cabins, we'd like to know, I guess some of the questions were, are they cleaned daily? Are the towels replenished? Do we bring our own beach towels? Those type of questions.
So what is included is a set of linen for each cabin. The hostess does not make up the beds. The beds, rooms on the cabin are quite small. And they're not changed daily. They are just for the week. The hostess will clean the kitchen, prepare the meals, the outdoor deck, wash all the dishes, but no, the rooms are not particularly made up. Yeah. In reference to beach towels, we found that a lot of people bring their own beach towels. We can make beach towels available if needed.
Okay. So let's see. I imagine the meals are mostly buffet style, the ones that are on board, but that was one of the questions. Is there a specific time when breakfast is served? These are some of the inquiries.
So breakfast can be set at any time. It is always communicated. The hostess communicates with the charter group the night before. They look at, for example, sometimes they want to stay in an island a lot longer than when they tend to leave. So it'll be changed, or they'll say, hey, we want to have breakfast early in the morning, or let's do it at 10 o'clock. It's because it is a catamaran, it's not a big, they don't have professional kitchens. They can make you eggs any way you want. They can provide toast. They'll provide cold meats, yogurts, fruit. That's what they set up. Cereal, you know, that's your typical breakfast.
And then the lunch is also like a buffet
So the
style.
lunch is they will communicate. No, they will try and set up a meal. They'll always have a salad and something of a main. We always try also, we've hand selected certain restaurants that we work with and ask them to prepare, for example, a moussaka or a pasticho, and we will take it and just heat it in the oven and then serve it the next day. Or the hostess will prepare a vegetable dish or something that she will communicate with the group.
Great. So I think you mentioned this, but most of the sailing takes place at what time, and how long do we usually sail daily before we get to our next port?
Yeah, good question. So we try to, minimize the amount of sailing because you don't want to be stuck out at sea. So it's between 2 to 3 hours between destinations. So we will try to have breakfast and then where we've moored the night before, unless we have an early morning start, and we will sail while everyone is still sleeping, and then we moor at an anchor at a certain location and have breakfast there. Lunch is usually somewhere where we've anchored for a swim in one of the secluded beaches where it's a beautiful setting. While everyone is swimming, the hostess will prepare lunch. And then in the evening, another 2 to 3 hours sailing into the island where you're more for the night, and you're free in the afternoon to go and explore the island and do any other thing else, something different as a water sport.
A lot of our clients obviously have families, and they were curious to know if there was any age limit, if young children can participate. I know you mentioned probably that there's teenagers, but is there an age limit for children?
No age limit at all, young or old. Anyone that can get on the boat and they love it, it's available to them. We encourage young children. We found the young children really know how to bring these myths to life, and there's a lot of fun in all ages.
Okay. Is tipping the crew included in the price? Is there something? I mean, here in the United States, we usually have to tell our clients that certain activities and things must be, tipping must be or is expected, let's say.
Okay. No, tipping in Greece is not expected. And if you do, it's definitely not the same rates that it is in the US. If you feel you've enjoyed yourself and you had a great time, feel free, but no, tipping is not necessary.
Great. Regarding the deposits, cancellation penalties, can you just more or less give us an idea of what's expected, how far in advance it has to be paid?
Yeah.
If you encourage insurance, things to that.
Yeah. Glad you asked me that. I'm going to have to reference my notes because I can't remember all the detail off by heart. But there's 2 payments. It's 50% deposit and then the balance 3 months before you set sail. In terms of the cancellation policy, bear with me. I'll tell you as soon as I find I've got it somewhere. It is, so if you cancel 40 days before you set sail, unfortunately 100% of the
Correct.
is not available to you, the price. only because we've paid for everyone. We paid for the tour guides, the boat, the skipper, everyone. Um, I think it's 60 days before. Just bear with me because I have got it. Uh,
We can also, I mean, obviously it's gonna be provided on our website, the exact cancellation and penalties as well, but I do think it's like a 75% or so.
yes, 75% is 60, and then anything before that is 50%.
Right. So, okay, so I think that pretty much covers it, for the questions. Why, I guess the final question is, why do you think this is such a good
Oh,
option for a vacation? I mean, I know it's gonna be easy for you to tell us that, but why do you think it's such a great option for a vacation in the sense of not only couples and families, but why do you think that's
What do I say? What do I say? Well, firstly, it's my passion. So I love it. And I've created stories and I've been doing it for 25 years with family and friends. And there's nothing like it in the world. So when I started to do this, I actually inquired, I'd call a couple of agencies, hey, can you help me out? We've got a young family, or there's a group of us, 4 couples, and we want to do these. There was nothing like it. There was nothing that could incorporate, a fun, immersive experience of the islands that we were visiting that tells us and connects the stories without being this heavy educational burden. That it was going to create memories and fun, exciting things that we would walk away with a unique experience, never experienced like it before. So that's how this came about, because there was nothing there available. And I also wanted, every time that, people came to visit Greece, that they fell in love with it just that little bit more, that they had this extraordinary experience that they couldn't do it on their own. This is like having a family friend who welcomes them home and shows them the way. And that's the best experiences that I've ever had in travel, when someone local has taken me and shown me and explained to me, the stories, the connections, the best restaurant, the little secret hideaways, the little caves behind somewhere, the beautiful best beaches that I couldn't do on my own. That's why I think this is truly magical.
Well, I think that pretty much covers it. Maria, thank you so much for bringing this to us, and we're really excited about selling it. So we'll be talking to you all soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.